After giving the Coyotes fans playoff quality hockey in the first half, we're slacking for Macklin, baby. Let's go.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Locked On Coyotes, your number one daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes. I'm your host, Robyn Leonio, alongside Matthew Jacobson. I want to thank everyone for making this show your first listen every day. You're available everywhere you get your podcast. You had something to say. You opened your mouth, Matthew.
Hi, how's it going? I really should have had some water in here. I am dying. All right, just like the Coyotes' playoff chances, I am dead. All right, I am the father that went to get cigarettes and did not return in that aspect. Wow, Robyn, as of recording, 12 straight losses. It could be 13. Honestly, I'm just going to say it right now. I want to get my feelings out of the way. We are, after the 10-game losing streak, we are officially no longer going to make the playoffs. That is done. We had our fun. The Coyotes gave us half a season of pretending we can make the playoffs. I am appreciative of that. I don't want them to win another game the rest of the season. I want number one overall.
Oh, absolutely. Get number one overall. Get Macklin Celebrini at this point. It's funny because I feel like it's interesting. We talked about this, that before the season, we were like, oh yeah, this team is going to be better than before.
Which they were.
And they'll look like a playoff team, but then they'll kind of fall back into below mediocrity, which is what's happening. But during the season, when they were riding the high, they were riding higher than we thought they would. So then we're like, well, we don't need to talk about Macklin Celebrini. We're a bubble team. And now I'm like, slacking for Macklin, baby.
It came full circle. It came full. Look, I'm just going to say it, okay? After I got over the disappointment that it was going to end sooner than I would have liked, it still objectively was longer than any of us thought. And I'm okay with them not reaching the 81 or whatever points I said they were going to reach. I'm okay with that if we can get Macklin Celebrini. We're not talking about his brother who belongs to the Vancouver, who has 6 points so far this season in 28 games. We're talking about 26 goals and 22 points or 22 assists for 48 points in 30 games, Robyn. This kid is ridiculous. I want Macklin Celebrini. If you have to trade Nick Schmaltz to make yourself bad enough, do it. Do whatever you know what? Anyone that is not named Keller, Cooley, Gunther, and Dursey. Anyone not named them, you can trade them all. I want this team to win. I want this team to lose every remaining game. Robyn, I want to bring up the NHL standings real quick. All right, live on the show. Robyn Leonio, okay? The Arizona Coyotes currently are 57 games into the season. Quick math, 3 makes it 60. 25 games to go. I want them to go on a 37 game losing streak to end the season. I want this. If you're going to be bad, be historically bad. Be a tale of two teams. Be the 2018 Arizona Diamondbacks where you're good and then bad, good and then bad. Or more like the 2019 or 2020, whichever D-backs that was. It was good and bad and good and bad. If you're going to do it historically, give me Macklin Celebrini. Put him on a line, Robyn. Put him on a line with Logan Cooley or Dylan Gunther or Clayton Keller. Do that. Even Josh Stone. Okay? Do it. Please. I dare you. Let's go.
I was really actually taking a look at, as you were going on that little monologue, went to FanDuel Sportsbook to see if there is a future available for who's going to get the first overall pick. Unfortunately, there isn't. There is one for worst season. Coyotes aren't listed on that because,
dude, I swear to God, the Coyotes need to be listed on it so we can that. That'd be
a payout right there. Absolutely. But you can now
college with that payout.
They do have the updated total points now. What was it before the season? Was it like 80-something points before the season?
It was either 81 or 85. I do not remember, so I
think it
usually
was
lean
like
on 85, but it might be
You know what
81.
it is now?
What?
75.5.
I'll take the under, baby.
Take the
I'll
under.
take the
Take
under,
the
baby.
under.
Let's go. Wait, if I bet the under right now, would I make some money?
The under is at minus 106.
That sounds bad. I don't gamble. I went to the casino with $40 and lost it.
That means bet $106, you get $100. So you get your 106 back. So
that doesn't sound very fun. I'll bet $20 and see what happens. Maybe I'll get 23 back.
We'll get 18.
18. All right.
1887.
Okay. So I purposefully left almost no time before the breaks because we have to touch on a couple of things, but I want to keep this mostly positive and mostly talking about Macklin Celebrini. So very briefly, a social media video was posted last week. Adam Ruzicka is no longer with the Coyotes. His contract has been terminated, and he's in the player assistance program. Only thing I'm going to say on that is it was ridiculously stupid what he did. Yeah, the kind of consequences for your actions, but he's also in the player assistance program. So if he needed help, which clearly he did, he will get that. So at the very least, there is a silver lining, some sort of positivity to that at the end.
Absolutely. I think that's at least the most you can hope for any kind of player that's went through something like that. It took me a little bit until I actually saw everything that happened. I worked a 15-hour workday that day, so I missed a lot.
I saw it so out of context, I wasn't sure if it was a meme or not, and I just didn't touch it until official sources started touching it. But then one more bad story. Clayton Keller is injured. I think it was today. Andre Tournier, I think both Craig Morgan and Patrick Brown had this quote. It might have just been Patrick Brown. That it'll take him a few days, not tomorrow. And I do believe that was today as of recording. So by the time you guys see this, he might be cleared to go. I don't think he's going to play against Montreal.
Keller injured, so you mean more slacking for Macklin?
More Macklin Celebrini! We have a break to get to, but I'm just saying, Clayton, thank you for your sacrifice. Take a couple of days off, King. Just take a couple. This is the way we have to lose against Montreal. We have to lose Clayton Keller, okay? Take a day off, kick your feet up, and let's get slacking for Macklin.
And let's get to some of our sponsors here. First of all, this episode is brought to you by Game Time. I know it gets really frustrating for a lot of you guys that you're trying to buy a ticket and you ends up being a terrible value. Can't find the last minute tickets. You get a terrible seat and you realize it might be an obstructed view. You shouldn't have to worry about all that when you're buying tickets. Game Time makes it easy to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you with killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. I will tell you myself, I have purchased multiple tickets through the Game Time app, gone to so many baseball games, hockey games, whatever it might be, including going, at the time that you guys are all listening to this, yesterday on the 27th, went to a spring training game for the San Francisco Giants at Scottsdale Stadium. Great seats, great view, and I could not thank Game Time enough for helping me find the best deal on those tickets. So if that's what you're looking for, finding great deals and getting great seats, Game Time is where you should check it out. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
And today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if the Coyotes stop slacking for Macklin. Bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and more. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. Worst you could say is no. FanDuel, official partner of the NBA. I just lied to you. The worst she could say is ew. I think we've all been there. Or laugh. That's you know what?
Not gonna lie, Matt. No, Matt. I have been out. Not to say not to make it say it's all true or anything, but it is. I've had some guys hit on me at whenever I'm out in public or doing whatever, and I'm like in my like I'm not sure how it sounds, but I'm like, ew, why?
Look, I'm not a degenerate. I went home and I played video games in high school, but I can imagine if my 220-pound ass would have been asking women out in high school, it would have been a couple of ews, would have been a couple of naws, would have been a couple of teacher help.
I've gotten like I've actually like I've said I've just gone, why?
Why? Why should the Coyotes not win another game the rest of the season? Because I want Macklin Celebrini.
Macklin Celebrini!
Is Macklin Celebrini better than Connor Bustard? Yes.
If the Coyotes draft him, yes.
If
they don't,
the Coyotes draft him, yes. If not, then he's just another overhyped loser. Especially if he goes to those Blackhawks. But Robyn,
he won't go to the Blackhawks.
He will.
He can't.
Look, the Blackhawks, they still have one more first overall pick in the next 2 seasons, Robyn. Why wouldn't it be Macklin Celebrini? So that way they can get another Jonathan Toews, Patty Kane situation going. So when Patty Kane goes back for one more playoff run, they'll have a couple gunners there. Anyway, Robyn. This painful losing streak. Florida 6-2, Tampa Bay 6-3, Carolina 3-1. Vegas 3-2, very close game. Overtime loss to Nashville 5-4. 5-3 loss against Philly, 3-1 against Minnesota, 5-1 against Carolina, 4-3 against Colorado in regulation, 6-3 against Edmonton and Toronto, 4-3 overtime loss against the Jets. I don't know why my brain does not want to work right now. If of these games, Robyn, if Vegas and Colorado, they push those to overtime, they get a couple of extra points, this team would actually not have slipped as fast if these close games, we were talking about it in October as well, if these close 1-goal games, they managed to push them to overtime. Last year's team did that. This year's team does not do that quite often. I think is it 6 total overtime losses this season? Let me just double check Arizona Coyotes record, because does anyone care? Does anyone care about the pain we are constantly feeling?
At this point,
and this time, show me Arizona Coyotes.
I'll add one more thing though. Let's say just to add some fun to this. If the Coyotes win the Slacken for Macklin Sweepstakes, we gotta do the Celebrini Celly.
Okay. 5 total overtime losses, by the way. So the record could be a lot cleaner if you push 5 more of those, which is reasonable. 5 more of those into overtime, giving you 56 points. It's not quite as bad. Hey, start pushing it into overtime more. I want some points. I want a couple of points. Maybe get 30 wins. Maybe. Nah, screw it. No more points the rest of the year. Macklin Celebrini. I would get a Macklin Celebrini jersey. I'd even buy one with an ad on it because it's Macklin Celebrini. I would do it. I would compromise my morals, Robyn, and I'd buy a jersey with an advertisement on it.
I feel like it's interesting because, now that I'm actually paying attention to the Macklin the Macklin Celebrini tankathon for everybody. There are really only a few teams who have fan bases or or to say teams in which multiple fan bases consider favorites to get Macklin Celebrini. As you mentioned, Chicago is one of them. Again, unfortunately, San Jose is another one. Of course, no one even talked about Arizona up until I don't think even no one is still going to talk about them because everyone knows that
deserve it, Robyn.
Either A, they don't deserve it, or B, it's because the Coyote. On the Coyotes fan perspective, the Coyotes are cursed and they will never pick anything above 3.
I mean, you're probably not that far off there, Robyn. Over under, Robyn, they had 70 points last year. Do you think they hit that again this year?
Barely.
Okay. I want to put some things in perspective, Robyn. If I
What's that? Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and put this on this monitor. Ooh, fancy. And this onto this monitor, Robyn. Robyn, as of last season, how many players in this team recorded 30 or more points? As a Coyote, Jacob Chikrin had 30 points, but not as a Coyote. He had 28. How many players had 30 or more points as a Coyote last year?
Oh, God. Total
30 or more points, which is under half a point per game.
4, 3,
9 total. How many have 30 or more points currently?
Oh, God. Is it bad?
No.
Is it worse or better? I am
worse currently.
6.
7. There are 7 players. Robyn, how many had 40 or more points on last year's team?
Trying to think if I can remember. I don't know. Can't
5.
remember. There we go.
There's only 1 that has that right now. It's and the thing is, all of it was Keller, Schmaltz, Michelli, Krause, Hayton, Boyd, Valimaki, Gossesbear, and JJ Mosier with 86, 58, 49, 45, 43, 34, and 34, 31, and 31 points respectively. This year it is Keller, Michelli, Schmaltz, Kerfoot, Krause, Bukestad, and Dursey with 52, 38, 34, 33, 32, 30, and 30 respectively. Cooley has 27, Zucker has 23. I think he'll hit 30 points. JJ Mosier could hit 30. Michael Carcone, if he get out of the cold streak, might be able to. I'd say as an outside chance of Gunner, or actually without Gunner's been playing, maybe, and then McBain, maybe, but that's kind of where my limit's at. I might be pushing it just a little bit. As long as we still see that forward progress and forward momentum on these other different stats, even though it might not be as many points, which they might come out of this and go on one of those weird Coyotes end of season runs. So I imagine they're still going to finish with 75 points because they hate us and we can never have nice things. But as long as we're looking at, hey, JJ Mosier is still about on pace with a decent point total. Michelli immediately last year he had 49 points, 38 assists, 11 goals. This year 38 points, 10 goals, 28 assists. Not that far off. He's only about 11 points shy. Not that far off, having a really consistent season. Clayton Keller is not a point per game player this year. He's 5 points behind the pace. If he misses a couple of games, he's going to put a wrench in it. But he can still get around 70 or so points this year. As long as you're not seeing any big steps back and you kind of see a little more consistency. Schmaltzy, he's only missed a couple of games this year. Only missed a couple of games so far this year. He missed about 19 last year. We're seeing some positivity. We have to look in a couple different areas, but you know what? I don't care if we're on a 12-game losing streak, Robyn. I'm going to take the time and look at those couple of areas to point out there's some nice things to look at. Get me Macklin Celebrini. Set up the ad break, please.
Well, we're going to go wrap it up and talk about the slacking for Macklin Sweepstakes. But first, we're going to take a quick break so we can hear from our sponsors on today's show.
And today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because the eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit available only for U.S. customers.
Let's wrap things up. Matthew, because I want to, speak just a couple things into this on this as we talk slacking for Macklin now that the Coyotes have dropped back down the standings significantly. When the NHL draft was announced that it was going to be in the Sphere in Vegas, right? I was personally super excited. I'm pretty sure you know that. I've been planning it. I've been planning to go no matter what. And now with the hype coming up here, it makes me even more excited that I know I'm going. I'm like, let's keep going on this slacking for Macklin. Let's go all in. I'd love to not only be there, but to see the Coyotes potentially draft Macklin Celebrini, as well as be at the last fully in-person NHL draft.
You know, Robin, I was going to say the Coyotes should trade for his brothers because Aiden is owned by Vancouver. RJ, I'm like, oh, where's RJ play? RJ is 12, so we cannot acquire him yet. he is currently 12 years old. We cannot acquire the kid yet, but you can get Aiden Celebrini. Macklin, I'm looking at the Elite Prospects page. There are 14 different publications that have him as the number one rated draft pick, from Craig Button, Bob McKenzie, McKean's Daily Faceoff. There's a lot. This kid, in a very, very, very short amount of time, is just in the 14U AAA, 141 points. In USHS Prep, 117. USHL, playing for Chicago Steel, 86 points in 50 games, 48 this year in the NCAA. As a 17-year-old, Robin, 48 points in 30 games. Fine, all right? Gary Bettman did not rig the draft for us to get the hometown kid, Austin Matthews. Fine. Gary Bettman did not rig the draft for us to get Connor Bedard. Okay? But you know what? You know what, Robin? Third time is the charm. I think it is time for Gary B. Bettman to rig a draft lottery, give the Coyotes Macklin Celebrini, and put him on a line with Clayton Keller or Logan Cooley or Dylan Gunther or Josh Stone, or screw it, acquire Robert Mastro Simone for nothing and put him on the roster. I don't care. Get this kid. You know what? I will say it on the show. I am willing to trade a package of Nick Schmaltz, Lawson Krause, and a first-round draft pick to get this done. I will take being canceled in the comments. I want Macklin Celebrini. I was there for Shite for Right. I was there for...
Hey, no, that I was shame for Shane. That's what it was.
Shite for Right was the best one, though. I was there for bad for Bedard or crap the Bedard. I was there for that. I'm here for slacking for Macklin. Third time is the charm, baby. Let's go. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this live. And last time I did it, I only did it as a I only did it without sharing the screen. But I'm gonna actually share the screen this time so we can actually have some fun.
All right, wait. I want to do it too. Well, wait, lottery simulator. Tankathon. All right, you go first, I'll go second.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Simulate. And now
Oh, that hurts.
That's painful right there.
Here, I'm gonna do mine. I don't know how to share my screen, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do mine. Just take my word for it. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Sim lottery. Seattle. Seattle jumps up 8 spots to get him. The Coyotes fall down to 6.
See, but looking at this mock draft, though, if the Coyotes were to get even, let's say, anywhere in the top 4, I know those top 4 are pretty. The other 3 are no Macklin Celebrini. But I hear good things already about Ivan Demidov, and we can get in, professional like prospect guys, scouts to be able to come in and talk to us about these players. I've heard quite a lot about Cole Yzerman. Spelled differently than Stevie Y, by the way. Not that Yzerman, but different Yzerman. But
the MHL. I was in the MHL in 30 games. He has 60 points and 23 goals. Demidov,
yeah.
Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. You know what? Maybe we can go with Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, and we can get number 2 overall. Like, come on, Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Oh my God,
Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. All right,
but Cole Yzerman is right. Like, he's also right now currently with the National Team Development Program, and committed to BU. So where Macklin Celebrini currently plays. So just saying, could be some. I mean, obviously, you take a look at the list stats. It's going to be an interesting draft. It's going to be an interesting one.
I want Macklin Celebrini or Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
You know what I hate?
Destiny.
You know what I hate? You know what I hate with myself?
What?
I literally just removed the thing from off stage and did it one more time. I was just mindlessly doing it one more time. I'm like, oh, would you look at that?
Feels good.
I just wanted to make sure, because, again, we can't make it official because it wasn't the one time, but
it wasn't the one, and I love how the one just so happened to be Chicago, because I'm telling you, it's gonna happen, because Patty Kane and Jonathan Taves brought the NHL a lot of money. Let's
remember, though, just a little heads up to all the Chicago haters out there.
I am one of them.
If Chicago does get Macklin Celebrini, which they will be officially ineligible for any number 1 pick for the next 5 years.
Yeah, but why do they have to get Bedard and someone else? The Coyotes can't even get a number 2 overall pick. We should have at least had Jackery Eichel. But that's besides the point. I want to go to bed. Robyn, will you please do your thing?
Well, that's going to be it for today's episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. If you like what you heard, definitely leave a review. Like, comment, subscribe if you have yet to already. We're available everywhere you get your podcasts, including on Apple, Google, Spotify, ad-free on Amazon Music. Don't forget to interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, and on X at @LO_Coyotes. I am personally at Robyn_Leonio. Matthew Jackson is at the AZ Sports Guy. Interact with us as a question you might have. We might answer right back around a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you guys are staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.